We're at Knott's Berry Farm today with a big update for you with news from around the park. Knott's is taking a page from the Disney playbook with a new line skipping feature. The classic ride appears to be coming back from the dead, plus a fascinating tech-forward update coming to Knott's soon. And with that, it's time to get this show started because the rope just dropped at Knott's Berry Farm. Tell you what, I love the Prestige Pass entrance. I never thought I would enjoy it as much as I do, but walking past those big lines that arrive usually at a rope drop time-ish. Today it's 10 a.m. You can't hear it at noon, you're probably not going to have to worry about it, but you can hear in the morning like that. That was really enjoyable. And with that, we'll enter Ghost Town at 10:49 in the morning, 49 minutes after rope drop. Do a little vibe check here. Looks like we've got some school groups here today. But already I can feel at least a little bit more, it's a little bit more crowded than the last two visits, not including the Boysenberry Festival, which was separate. So the crowds are picking up just slightly. We've entered a new season. We're coming into the spring season. Well, after a quick stop at the Fireman Brigade for some early lunch, always think a dining plan now when I come to the park. By the way, I got the sausage, the spicy sausage in a bun, and some vegetable skewer. Good stuff. That was very, very nice. I enjoyed that a lot. That sausage is excellent. While I was sitting there enjoying my early lunch, I saw that the Knott's train is back online. So before we even get into this day, we got to get started. Calico Railway is back on the tracks, taking guests on a tour around Knott's Berry Farm. Maybe you get robbed, maybe you don't, who knows? But it's really great to see the train out here entertaining guests. I love the sound of the whistle and the steam and everything. We went for a ride. We'll show you guys that a little bit later. But let's get back to the front of the park and talk about some of the news that's happening. Matter of fact, let's just take a full tour. Why don't we? We're back at the entrance, looking at Ghost Rider right now. It is online. Ghost Rider is back online. It's interesting. Ghost Rider at the entrance, it shows you a posted wait time, but differently than other attractions do. It doesn't give you the actual time. It just gives you a range. If it's the minimum is an hour on that board, which is weird. This little dial thing, and it says it's 2 hours, but that is certainly not the case. This queue looks quite empty. I mean, 2 hours would be out here most likely. But the lead story here is that it's open. Ghost Rider is receiving guests. People are excited to be on that attraction. But let's say that it was a busy day here at Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm and you wanted to ride Ghost Rider. You had the option of buying their FASTLANE, which is their version of GD Plus at Disneyland. One price for the whole park. It's a flex pricing also between $75 and I want to say $120, although it usually lands somewhere right around the middle. We call it $100. I can assure you there are times, especially as we get closer to the spring and summer seasons, there are times when this whole queue is filled up and you're going to want to skip that line because it's kind of brutal. But you don't want to pay for the whole FASTLANE, the $100. They have just instituted a single-use individual lightning lane, as it were, but it's for every major FASTLANE attraction here. It's, as I understand it, Knott's Berry Tales, Ghost Rider, Hang Time, Jaguar, Pony Express, Silver Bullet, the Log Ride, and Accelerator. You can buy an individual FASTLANE for each of those. Flex pricing also starting at $7.50 each. I don't know what the top end is. We're going to test that a little later this afternoon. We're going to try to buy an individual Lightning Lane for some attraction. We're going to test that and see how that works. But I got to say, $7.50 per attraction, it's kind of nice. At least with respect to Disney's individual Lightning Lane, which could be, $20 per attraction. Where I would say that Genie Plus at $25 or $30 is a bargain compared to FASTLANE at $100 or Express Lane for $200 at Universal. $25 is a bargain, $30 is a bargain. I would say that their individual Lightning Lane here is a better deal than Disney's, obviously. Plus, you can get it for any of the major FASTLANE attractions. In fact, I could almost envision a scenario where this new program basically just, there's no point in buying the entire FASTLANE. If you use $7.50 as the base, you would have to go on 10 rides, minimum 10 rides, in order to reach the cost of FASTLANE at $75 per guest, which could go up to $120, as I mentioned. Again, I don't know what the top end is yet. I've only seen the press release, saying where the prices begin. We'll find out. We'll test one a little later when hopefully it's a little busier. But I mean, that's a nice starting point. I'm not doing 10 rides in a day. Who is doing 10 rides in a day? I mean, I guess if you're here for a long time, but the park is only open between 10 and 8. Now, FASTLANE starts at 2 p.m., which changes a lot, obviously. But you don't really need it. Like right now, I don't feel like you probably don't need a FASTLANE at this point in the day. We'll cover that in a little more detail later on this afternoon after 2 p.m. when the park is hopefully a little bit more busy. We can test its use. For now, we'll stop at the Butterfield Stagecoach to see a 45-minute standby, which is pretty standard for this attraction. It takes quite a while to process guests here. In fact, let's take a ride right now. We'll check in on the construction happening at Camp Snoopy. Loving this opportunity to get on the Butterfield Stagecoach to do a little construction update. I enjoy this at least as much as I enjoy getting on the monorail to film Downtown Disney. Maybe more. This is my favorite ride in the park. Log Ride, still closed. We'll be talking about that a little bit later in this show. That's a great shot. A little bread and butter with the train. We're going to talk about Montezuma's Revenge. That's that right there in the distance and over that wall. We still can't get a good look if anything is happening back there. The Rocky Mountain Trucking Company site. It's going to be a similar attraction, but just rethemed. Which it's going to have to be because Camp Snoopy is supposed to reopen. All these attractions are supposed to reopen by Memorial Day. Like this right here. This is, the old Ferris wheel. They still haven't finished tearing this thing down yet. Is this location just going to be vacant? It's Memorial Day, right? Love this view. It's Fresh Baked fans back there. There he is. What's up, guys? Okay, so this is the site of the Tender Paw Twister Coaster. Now, that's a little bit of progress, but still, I don't see how they build that in the next 3 months either. They've just dug... Are you kidding me? There's no way. It can't be. Expect a really fun-looking kids coaster here. Something not quite at the level of Gadgets Go coaster, but yeah, they've made a lot of progress here, and they're moving quickly, but it's just... I mean, I just don't see how they can build a full coaster there in 3 months, even if it's a kids coaster. Okay, hit it, Skip. There we go. We'll get a look at that construction site a little later when we go check out the Grizzly Creek Lodge. And then this is the site of the new stage for the Peanuts Gang performances. You can see the chalk outline of where that stage will probably wind up being. I would assume that's what we're looking at right there, is where they're going to build that stage. And then that's backstage right there. Not very far along here either. I don't imagine they could... Oh, what's that? We got more chalk outlines. What are they going to put there? Oh, you know what? That's probably the awning for guests, I'm assuming. I've never seen chalk outlines before on a work site. Is that common? Or are these guys just making it up? I looked on the website, you guys. Per Knott's, the reimagined Camp Snoopy is set to open or reopen Memorial Day weekend in 2024. Good luck, fellas. I'm rooting for you because I want it to be open by then. Best ride in the park, man. The Butterfield Stagecoach is the best ride. I wish they put that on FASTLANE because I wonder how much demand there would be for a FASTLANE for that. Because I would use it every single time. Let's head back to Knott's B. See what's happening at the boardwalk. We'll check in on Knott's Berry Tales as well. Actually, there's news right here. This right here is Charleston Circle. That's the Charleston Circle fountain. And I am to understand that in a couple of months, around May, around the corner in this spot right here is my best guess. They said it's going to be near to the gift shop and in the same space or across the way from the fountain. So I'm guessing right here, M&T's on the go store. They're going to build, this is kind of interesting, a grab and go shop. No cashiers, no cash. You scan your credit card before you go in the door. Cameras will track you, figure out what you picked up, and then charge your credit card on your way out. Something similar to what they've been doing already in certain Six Flags parks. You also might find something like this at Amazon Fresh or Whole Foods. It's not a big deal. It's just a small shop, Coke products, chips, small souvenirs. It's not a big deal, but I'm really curious about it. I'm very interested in it because that's an advancement that we really haven't seen applied at a theme park, and I'm particularly interested to see how that works out. Certainly an evolution, an advancement on what's happening at Disneyland now, where they have got the mobile checkout, which I actually really like, and it's very effective. But at Disney's mobile checkout, you have to scan your own barcodes, you put them in their bag, and then you check out with a cast member at the exit. So there's a lot more. It's a lot more analog. Even though it is a digital improvement, it's still more analog than this, where there's no cashiers, no nothing. It's just you, a camera, and good faith. While we're back here on the boardwalk, let's do a crowd check. We'll look at hang time, see what the wait time says. 30 minutes. That's kind of surprising. So even though it's almost 2 o'clock now, this is peak time for most crowds, or for most days. That's not bad. 30 minutes for hang time is pretty good. Looks like Coast Rider's about the same. 30 minutes for Coast Rider. Accelerator is X. We have no idea. It's blank on there, so I don't know how long this is going to be. That ride is so intense. Wild thing is about accelerators, that attraction is what, 15 years old? It's so far behind, but that still scares the crap out of me, that attraction. It's nowhere near state of the art anymore, but I really am glad to see it back. That's a reason to come back here to Knott's B, to the boardwalk, is Accelerator. Let's check in next on the log ride. Timber Mountain log ride. It's been closed for a while, since I want to say January, right? A couple months. I thought it might be open by the time they kicked off the Boysenberry Festival, just like the train and Ghost Rider, but the log ride is clearly a ghost town still. There's not even water in the flume in the track, so I don't know how close they are, if they're close at all, to getting this thing reopened. But certainly I think it's past its expectation. This is an attraction that is sorely missed by fans of Knott's Berry Farm. I've mentioned in the past it's sort of the heart and soul of the entire park. You might have your favorite rides, which ones you prefer the most, if it's a roller coaster, or if it's, you know, the low-key rides like me in the Butterfield Stagecoach. But this one here is probably the one attraction that is most identifiable with the Knott's Park in general. It's great. The long ride is great. I really miss it. When it comes back online, I'm gonna be here. Well, let's take a quick weather break. I promised you a ride on the Calico Railroad. Let's go.
Volunteer deputy, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, there you go, promise that I will uphold the law and give this handsome young man on my boot.
So interrupting this program to update you guys on single-use FASTLANE. We were talking about it a little bit earlier in the show. I had occasion to come down actually to the guest services next to Ghost Rider. I finally got to go in there. There was no waiting whatsoever, by the way, because I couldn't figure out how to buy one. The app was not giving me any sort of opportunity to buy a single-use FASTLANE. I know they're available. I know they're for sale. They're being advertised as such. And so, but I couldn't figure it out. So I went inside, talked to guest relations for a little while, and they confirmed I can't. It looks to be an Android issue. I'm not gonna let that stop me though. We're still gonna ride Ghost Rider. As it turns out, I mentioned the prior situation I had this morning with a guest services cast member who was helping me with the app. She did offer me a single-use FastPass ticket for my troubles. So I'm gonna use that right now. At Ghost Rider, you can't stop me, Knott's. See all of Buena Park from here. Oh God. Okay. It's so long too. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh! Oh God. let's conclude with a leisurely stroll through Camp Snoopy to update you guys on what's happening back here from the ground. We already showed you the construction progress happening from the Butterfield Stagecoach, which is impressive how far they've gotten. The dirt, I mean, that's the best view I've ever had of any construction site. Where you're literally right on top of it. Couldn't do better with a drone. The gift shop, the Camp Snoopy gift shop is still closed. That's supposed to be back open, I believe, in May. All of this, well, see, I don't think, they're talking about this being ready for summer, but I just don't know if that's possible. They haven't even put in the foundation yet for the new stage for the Camp Snoopy stage show. Interesting, right next door, the walls are down at the Grizzly Creek Lodge. Is it open? It is open. So they're supposed to be doing some thematic updates in here. I kind of feel like that's not possible in the time that they had this thing closed. Let's just go take a quick look. I do feel like this, man, it has been a minute since I've been in here, but they didn't have these switchbacks here before. I do feel like that's new. As a matter of fact, if I recall, we queued over here, they had a switchback here where they now have a salad bar. Am I crazy? Do I have that right? I'm gonna hopefully, I don't know if I have any old video of this. This is not a thing that I would have paid attention to back in the day. But I want to say this is in fact new. All of this, that all looks new up there as well, the way they have the buffeteria style setup there. So I found some photos from a couple years ago, and yes, these switchbacks here are new. Those built-in switchbacks, they used to just be ropes in the past. But the salad bar was there a couple years ago. Meanwhile, the upstairs seating looks to be about as I remembered it. Yeah, this is pretty much it. I don't think they've even replaced the tables or chairs. These are the same tables and chairs as before. Let's go outside for a minute. Now we cannot go up here. That's closed. But there is some exterior seating out here. Now I want to know if they've opened up. No, they haven't. Clearly not. The caves and all that is still closed down here. You can see that there's a gate up in front of the bridges there. The rope bridge, so that's still not happening. We're still waiting for that. But in spite of that, in spite of the fact that there's less new updated theming inside as I had hoped for, it's still the best place to eat in the entire park. Fireman's Brigade is my favorite place to eat as far as food goes, but nothing can beat the Grizzly Creek Lodge, just for the aesthetic, being here in Camp Snoopy. It's really fun to eat here. The menu's pretty good, cheeseburgers, chicken, that kind of thing. It's the standard stuff, and the best views in the entire park if you're gonna sit down and eat a meal. I recommend coming upstairs, going outside, and enjoying that vibe. By the way, you also have a nice view of one of the construction sites for the Camp Snoopy. We'll be coming up here to check in on that from time to time as well. While I was up here, I happened to put eyes on Montezuma's Revenge. That's the old building right there, the old Montezuma's Revenge building. It's looking a little worse for wear. It has seen better days. It looks like a rundown, decrepit old attraction building. But we've actually got good news. Last time we were here, we talked about Montezuma's Revenge being an ex-attraction. All signs were pointing towards it being gone. That it looked decrepit, it looked done. It still does to this day. But no sooner had we posted that update, did Knott's let everybody know that the reports of the death of Montezuma's Revenge were greatly exaggerated. Just like The Undertaker at WWE, it has risen from the dead. It'll be back. We don't know when. We don't know. They've reinvigorated the idea that they are going to turn it into a new Montezuma's Revenge attraction. Just on the other side of that wall, Forbidden Fortress. Montezuma's will be transformed into Forbidden Fortress, which was a story that had been going around for a few years now. They had been talking about doing that, but it never seemed to happen. Everybody thought it was dead. It's probably the reason why they closed this attraction, but they didn't announce a replacement for it. It may still be replaced, but there could be that they just have to close it in order for them to do what they need to do in order to update the queue. The queue for Forbidden Fortress for Montezuma's Revenge is going to be updated. By the looks of that teaser video that Knott's released, guests are going to be launched through a fanged mouth-like portal with smoke and lighting effects. I don't know if that's going to be like every launch. By the way, they are switching it up. It used to be always launched forward first. You would go forward, and then you'd do the loop, and then you go back up. You could launch in both directions now. This new attraction is going to launch either, it's going to be completely random, either forward or backwards. Also, it is my understanding that they're going to be updating the restraints. They're going to be over-the-shoulder restraints as opposed to the lap-only restraints as they had in the past. So this show building, which is not much at all, is going to get a facelift, which is nice, much needed. Very average, very pedestrian-looking building. It's going to get a facelift that should at least somewhat resemble the theming for Jaguar. Now, they're not going to have a shared universe. It's not meant to be the same universe, as it were, but similar at least, so that they can blend well together, which is still an upgrade from what you have now, or did have, at Montezuma's Revenge. By the way, it looks like Jaguar's closed at the moment. I'm not hearing the vehicles or seeing them move at all. It changes the entire complexion of this land right here. In any case, it goes without saying that this is the best possible outcome for fans of Knott's Berry Farm, the revival, the rejuvenation of the Montezuma's Revenge update to Forbidden Fortress, because there's literally nothing else that they could put in that space today that could match what they have there already. Modern building codes, etc., and the way that things are designed nowadays, I'm not sure that, and that's a situation that Disney faced, or is facing with a lot of attractions. I'm not sure that they could put something in there that would meet even the simpleness of Montezuma's Revenge today. Again, like Accelerator, when they built that attraction, it was, state of the art. That was like one of the most awesome rides you could enjoy here at Knott's Berry Farm. Man, that was a long time ago. All right, well, I came back to the ghost town. Actually, I've been all over the place. I wanted to end my day with a treat. This is my second iteration on the dining plan. It's been 4 hours. You guys, I may have to do a review, a proper review of the dining plan, because it's just not as great as you think it could be. I mean, it's still good. If you're here a lot, it's still valuable. And actually, we're going to be doing a thing where I'm going to eat here a bunch on the dining plan. But there's a lot of the stuff that they serve here is not included in the dining plan. Like Fireman's Brigade. I don't even think you can get a rib. I don't think you can get any ribs. Anyway, that's a whole. I wanted to put that at the end here. Stay tuned for that. That's something that I want to talk about. Knott's Berry Farm, it's great. It's a great value, but there are certainly things that we need to talk about. But I'm going to call it. That's it for today. Can't even have a boysenberry cookie. I think I can get a boysenberry cookie now that I think about it over at Charleston, at the Charleston Circle, where you can get your coffee, etc. But I'm on my way out. I hope you guys enjoyed this update from Knott's Berry Farm. If you like this show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Follow us on Instagram at _freshbaked, on Twitter at freshbakedisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at freshbakedisney. Otherwise, I love you guys. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.